of you guys coming down, making sure that you guys get all the information. I know this is just a fraction of the folks that will probably be on the team once we get to a little bit later in the season here. So as you guys are out and about in the community and you're talking with the other parents, please make sure to spread the word, if you will, right? I see some of the kids over here and I'm going, man, haven't seen you guys since last year, and you guys have all gotten a lot bigger. You know, that 7th to 8th grade, jump. I'm sure the puberty's starting to hit, and I'm sure the parents are loving all of that. Right? So, anyway, guys, we got a couple things that we're gonna do. So tonight we're gonna talk about and introduce the new coach for the 8th grade. All right, our 8th grade coach is now a committed coach to the Cal Youth Football Program for the next 3 seasons, at least that's what we're hoping, right? And so that's a great thing, right? The other great piece about this is that Kevin brings a bunch of experience with him, right? And so we'll get more into the introduction of Kevin here in just a minute. Before we get into that, wanted to first give a quick plug for. We have an opportunity coming up. I'm sure some of you guys have seen this on Facebook. There is a conservation program that happens over in Fenwick by Ionia there, and they bring the dogs out, like a bunch of labs and hunting dogs, right? And they launch ducks, and they grade the dogs as they go out and fetch the ducks and bring them back, and that's how these dogs get their papers and get graded as like master hunters or not, right? Well, they reached out to John Linker, and he reached out to us. They were looking for volunteers to literally load. Have you seen those like water balloon launchers, right? That they hook up with like the big wrist rockets or whatever, and they're putting these ducks in them, and they shoot the ducks out over the pond or whatever, and the dogs go and get them. Anyway, it's kind of it's like the May 21st and 22nd. They will pay $100 per volunteer per day. They were looking for us to try to give 20 folks. I think right now we're at like 6 or 7, right? It would be like a $4,000 opportunity for our program. So if there's anybody here that wants to go get their hands dirty and go out there for a weekend, just let me know. Zero pressure, not a requirement, nothing like that. Just wanted to give it a plug as soon as I could.
Hey Coach, quick note. You noted the water balloon launcher, but it is confirming we're not talking about any guns.
No guns, nothing like
I
that.
actually read it, I thought.
Yep, no live fire.
No live fire. These are just like rubber band launchers that toss these ducks out for the
Can kids get paid?
Yes, yeah. There's no age restriction. I mean, obviously you can't have like 5-year-olds out there, but if we've got 7th and 8th graders out there, even as young as my youngest boy over here, Clayton, 5th grade, right? That'd be fine too. So if you're willing to do that, bring them out. Each kid plus the parents, each of them get $100 a day or whatever. They would come back to us, so we'd appreciate it, certainly. All right, so moving away from that, the other plug that I wanted to do was I'm sure you guys got to look at the price increase, right, from previous years to this year. I wanted to give you a quick conversation on that. So as you guys know, we've been transitioning from, we're going to throw some coaches in here, we're going to throw a bunch of players with them and say, go figure it out. We had this great opportunity with Coach Pennington. I don't know if you guys know, but he had a pretty good season last year, right? So it was a good welcome for him to come here. And one of the core competencies that I've taken away from my conversations with him is he loves his youth programs, right? He really loves the 7th and 8th grade, and he really wants to build a tremendous program here in Caledonia. And so to do that, he's really taking a chunk of the high school offense and defense, and we'll just say dumbing it down a little bit, right, for the youth program. And at the 8th grade level, that's as good as it's going to get. And then, of course, we'll break it down into smaller blocks that the kids can understand. And we're going to implement this stuff starting at like the 3rd grade level, right? From knowing the positions from getting the same language and terminology, all of those things going, so that when the transition happens from 8th grade to 9th grade, it's not like the coaches have to go, okay, I know that your youth coaches have been teaching you this and this and this, but this is actually what we want you to do, and to get over that hurdle. This will make it a lot more seamless, right? And it'll get a lot of the kids understanding the system, understanding the reads, where they need to be on each play, right? So it's a really great thing. To do that, move into this program, you guys, I'm sure, did everybody see the big sign, the billboard that was out there on the side of the road out there on Cherry Valley? Yeah, that was pretty cool, right? But right across the top of it's like 1 Cal, right? So it's kind of it's our mantra around here for this program right now, is bringing Cal together as one, right? We talk about that from a football perspective, but we also talk about that from a community perspective, right? We have so many different businesses in this community, right? All of them that I've gone and talked to, at least one-on-one, have all been like, let me donate to the program. What do you need? Whether it was, Harder and Warner down the street, we were talking about trying to get lights and do work out at the Cowplex to be able to extend our practices, or at least our flag football games, those types of things, so we don't just have to rent the generator lights and whatnot. They're like, hey, that's on us. We'll just come out and do all of your digging. We'll fill it all in. We'll take care of the grounds for you when we're all done. It's that kind of mentality that I'm talking about when we talk about 1 Cal. So as we go forward with that approach, right, we want to look good. We look good, we play good, right? Hopefully, most of the time, right? And so last year, you guys seen that we went to that New Jersey, right? We got them all custom made over at Addicts, and getting the fittings done was crazy difficult, right? Like, they didn't fit like the other jerseys, and we had like 6 or 7 different meetings of, hey, come try on here, come try on there, just to kind of fit each other person's schedule. For this year, when we're talking about jerseys, we're gonna go with Addicts again, right? We liked them. This year's jersey is gonna be a little bit different. You might have seen on the email that I sent out that instead of going with the black jerseys, they're white and purple jerseys this year, so we'll be doing that with the white pants. Anyway, there's going to be that cost to it. What we will do, instead of trying to get everybody to come out at the same time, at the same place, what we're going to do is say, hey, 8th grade coaches, here's some things to try on, get with your team, go through your roster, and it'll just be work right through your coaches instead of having to stand in this really long line, right? It'll be the same thing with pictures this year too. We're gonna try to get the pictures all knocked out before the first practice even happens, right? That way, there's nothing to worry about. We're not stopping practices to go, jostle things around. I know everybody has a schedule, and the last thing that you wanna do is have another thing on there to go stand around and wait in line and get your photos taken. So we appreciate your patience on that. Part of this year's package is also we're giving the kids, we want them to look uniform, right? So on the days of the non-contact practices, we want them to wear a t-shirt and shorts. Those were already designed up, and right now we're also offering an opportunity to the community that if anybody wants to put like your logo or sponsor stuff on the back of the t-shirt, it's like $2.50, and you can put your logo on the back of the t-shirt, right? We'll get those ordered up, and once we have the final design in with all the logos, and all the kids will wear those on the non-contact days and at camps, right? So real briefly, we'll talk about the camps. We've had several camps, right? I don't know if you guys, the 8th graders probably know with Beast Camp, but as a part of the program, we did Beast Camp this year for 3rd through about the 6th graders, right? And it was a tremendous turnout. We were over at Max Effort Fieldhouse, and I think we had 50 kids, and they were all signed up within, gosh, it was like hours, not days. It was like hours, and we were sold out, right? It was like, wow, this is like spring. I'm thinking baseball and wrestling and lacrosse, all these things getting ready to start up, and the whole community just kind of come out. Everybody's really been supporting us well, right? So we appreciate that. thank you for those things. In terms of the 8th graders, we do have a 8th grade camp that's going to be coming up, right? That's going to be run by the high school, right? It's going to be early June, and the specific dates, I'll send out an email. I'm sure you've probably seen some things through the community center. I believe that's where the high school is running it through. But this will be a really good camp for our kids to be at, right? So we want them to be there. There's also a camp coming up in July. That camp is going to be similar to the camp that we had last year, where we had Tyler Elite and Coach Chuma that came out and ran that camp, and they did a tremendous job. They made some really nice videos of the camp, and we had, I want to say 80 or 90 kids out there last year. This will be a 2-day camp. It's in the evenings. It'll be from about 7 to 6:30 to 7:30, 8 o'clock. We'll get you the details on that. And then this year, for the first time, we are offering, as a part of the program, a 3-day overnight camp out at Camp Manitoulin, which will be also limited contact, but it'll be a contact camp out there, right? It'll take place of our practices that week, and it'll be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday kind of deal. It'll be Friday after we get out of school, bring the kids out there, drop them off. I know that you guys are probably gonna have a bunch of questions about that, and so when we get done with the introductions, we'll be hanging out here afterwards. If you want to come ask some individual questions, that's fine, or we can ask them now. All right. Well, so then with that, I'll open it up. Do you guys have any questions so far? Yeah.
Power wash, man.
And mine's cringe.
I know, right? All the ones were like, at least it's not like baseball, right? Where you gotta like 4 games in a row and like back to back to back.
I mean, keep in mind though, you probably can wear black pants for practice and then just wear the white pants for the game.
Just games.
Yeah.
Game hands. So, and let's see, what else do we got? Anybody else? So I talked to Annex that reversible jersey is not an option. All right. The other thing that's coming out, another camp, is, are you guys familiar with Iron Scots? Okay, Iron Scots is a weightlifting program that the high school puts on. This off season it's like, hey, the boys are like we said earlier, they're getting to that point, they're hitting puberty, they're getting a little bit bigger. The more you can put them in the gym and let them get rid of some of that stress and anger that they come home pouting about, that's all the better for them, right? So get them in there, get them working out, and only get them ready for this season, right? As a note, we'll have that note later. All right, any other questions? Okay.
Is there gonna be, because the majority of parents have black pants, is there gonna be an option for us to create a relationship with Dick's Sporting Goods so that we can shop it out to, everybody's gonna need new pants, everybody has black. So is there an opportunity for us to get sizing for that and pretty much size out for the unis and say, hey, for an additional X amount of dollars, that way we can streamline that, because everybody's gonna be on a scramble to get white pants.
I can contact them and at least do a Cal Youth football day where everyone will get a 20% off for a weekend on all their stuff they want to buy.
They're going to want the same brand. They all are going to be a little bit different. Red Owl's going to look different than.
We never had different
yes,
black
Chad,
bands
but
though.
The only comment that I have towards that is last season, I don't know if you guys remember or not, but we did that online store where we were able to get everybody to order, and it's kind of a one package kind of deal there. And then with COVID and everything that hit, the logistics behind everything, all of a sudden the suppliers that they had weren't getting the stuff, and then we had emails coming through that were like, hey, guess what, your helmets, they're not going to be here until October, which is like after the season, so what is that going to do us, right? Which brings me to another point. Chad brought up to me the other day that there's a you go on the Rydell website right now and look for helmets, and they're out of stock, right? So it is what, May right now, middle of May. Start looking and shopping, right? There is an opportunity. I did talk with Pennington yesterday about the Rydell rep that they use for the high school. He said he also talked to that Rydell rep, and the Rydell rep was like, I can't promise anything, right? Like, so he's worried that his freshmen might be scrambling for some helmets. So the only point here to take away, right, is if you see a helmet and it fits and it's a good fit, like, don't sacrifice safety for convenience, but make sure that you're starting to look for that stuff early.
Are they getting different helmet decals than last year? Like, do we need to take off the old ones from last year?
Well, yeah, you could leave them on if you want. We will be passing out the same ones,
Okay.
right? Yep.
Well, one of the things that, sorry to
Yep.
interrupt you, but one of the things that we had talked about is trying to get a group purchase order, because large purchase orders will be fulfilled before one-offs, right? Like going to a website, they're gonna fulfill a 20 or 40 or 60 order placement before they fulfill a one-off order placement, number one. Number two is, if you guys are buying helmets, they're supposed to be recertified every single year. Every single year, the varsity program takes all of their helmets and sends them out to have reconditioned and recertified. Okay, so if you're getting a helmet that's 10 years old, please understand that if there's a hairline fracture in the helmet, you could be, sacrificing safety. So if you're gonna get a used one, make sure you look at the decals and make sure that it's certified that recently, at least within the last year or two, right? You don't wanna sacrifice safety for dollars. So if you can get one, but just make sure that it fits and that it's safe.
Are they ever gonna start? We grow out of helmets. Let's start giving them to Caledonia and giving them to the younger kids.
So
If they can get recertified.
that is a
There's
fantastic
so many schools
point.
that do it, and
I
Caledonia
actually-
is one of the few that don't do it.
Yeah, I actually just had that exact conversation with Pennington yesterday, and was like, I'm gonna reach out to last year's 8th graders. Now, some of them might have brothers and stuff that they're passing down to, but I was gonna reach out to the 8th graders and see if there was a donation that would like to be made, or if they wanted to get rid of them for whatever cost, and then make that available to this.
Or an exchange.
I tried to do that with the athletic boosters, and they said
Right,
no.
I'll state
Yeah, they don't
flags
do
if
it.
anybody wants it.
But I said, everyone come in, pay $10, take whatever gear you want, and they wouldn't do it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so.
So those are some of the struggles that we're kind of dealing with right now, right? But wanted to make sure that you guys were all brought up to speed on those items. All right. One more chance around the room in terms of what the program is looking like this year. Okay. All right. Well then, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and introduce the coach. Right. I don't know, for those of you who haven't met him yet, this is Coach Kevin Clement. All right. Kevin hails from over in Hudsonville. Don't hold that against him. All right. He's a 4-year scholarship player out of Hillsdale College, right, down south of Michigan there. And he brings a ton of football knowledge, experience, and pain, right? So,
Right.
So, all right. Well, with that, help me welcome Coach Clement.
The paint comment's great because, so we coach it different now. We take care of the guys. No more line them up and smash them until they fall down. We try to be a little smarter than that. So, as Coach Padgett mentioned, Kevin Clement here as the head coach of the 8th grade program this year, and there's a reason for that. And one of the main reasons for me joining the fold of what's been a very successful group here. We have a talented group of kids, but we're trying to get them ready for Cal High School. Whether it's the 9th grade, whether it's the JV, or whether one or two of them get pulled up to freshmen next year, I don't know. But I can tell you after, and we'll talk a little bit about this later, but after meeting with Coach Pennington, there's some dudes that are going to get moved around from this team. We have a very talented team. So we're here trying to get the guys ready to play at the next level, to feed into that championship program. And one of the things I want to do real quick before we get into the other coaches is program is what we're preaching. So we're going to talk about One Cal. But with Coach Padgett and everything he's done taking over the program the last year, I want to take an opportunity to thank him. I want to thank him for the opportunity to coach this 8th grade team, but I think we owe him a great deal of gratitude for kind of changing this from, a rec league to trying to be part of something much bigger. We're creating something much bigger here. We're integrating with the high school. We're integrating with the coaching staff. We're bringing the communication. It's very much a two-way street. There's several of these coaches here that speak with Coach Pennington throughout the week on various matters. They care at the high school. And obviously we care about these kids. We also care about the community. That's part of what we're doing here, is trying to get the kids ready to represent our community, be successful at football, have a great time. Okay, it's not about wins and losses, at least at this level. Now we're gonna win, so don't get me wrong. But it's about getting these guys ready. It's about making sure these young men are comfortable, they have a positive experience with the game of football, and that we're setting them up to the high school level, ready to play in whatever fashion they're called upon. Okay, so that's, and I'm kind of speaking to some program goals now. So I'm going to tell you, that's goal number 1, is get the kids ready to play at the high school level. I don't know where they're going to get pulled, like I said, whether it's 9th grade, 10th grade, or varsity, when they're going to get pulled. But at some point, these guys stick together. At some point, they're going to be the varsity football team, and they're going to be representing our community. And I want to make sure that as their 8th grade football coach, I've done my part, and I know these guys are genuine in wanting to do their part and making sure these boys are ready to play too. Okay, so that's goal number 1. Number 2, actually, that's goal number 2. Goal number 1 is we've had 2 very, very successful groups, especially last year at the 7th grade level. And people take note of where good football is played. People were watching the varsity team. People were watching our 7th grade teams too. I'll tell you that. And there's a lot of chatter. We had a lot of good players, but we had 2 teams. And so for the first time, for these guys coming up, they're going to be on one single team. It's going to mimic high school, right? We're trying to get the guys ready for high school. So what does that mean? Well, maybe guys are playing in different spots than they're accustomed to. Maybe they have different roles that they're accustomed to. Maybe they were a starter, and maybe now they come in on the dime package, right? What I'm here to teach you is that I don't care about any of that. I don't care who's the people that starts on the field. We're going to use a whole bunch of guys. There is a tremendous amount of talent on this spectrum here at 7th grade. We have an opportunity to use all of it in different types of packages. Now, I'm trying not to go down the lane of speaking too much football lingo, but we have different ways to get the kids involved, and we have a lot of good kids to get involved. That's what I'm trying to say. So, guys, look out, because we're going to call upon a lot of you in different roles than you might be accustomed to. And that speaks to kind of the next thing that we're trying to teach is, guys, the game of football is pretty simple if we're just talking X's and O's. You block here, I block there, whenever we go and smash each other and somebody comes out the winner. What's different this year? What are we trying to instill this year that we didn't do last year? It's all about something called reads. So, Emmett's dad, right? I actually used Emmett as an example on Sunday evening. And I said, hey, look, he asked me a question. He said, hey, Coach, which way do I go? And I said, hey, look, I don't know. Well, that's a pretty crappy answer from the coach, right? It's fair enough, right? Like, the dude asked a question, he deserves an answer. Well, I said, but here's the difference. Last year, coach is going to tell you which way to go. That he knows the odds. He knows the odds. They've already watched the film. They know that the safety's going to come from the inside out, blah, 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 football jargon, and they're going to want you to go this way. Not anymore. It's not good enough. You need to make a read. When you get that football, your eyes, and you turn upfield, your eyes are not on the guy tackling you. You got to make a move. That's got to be innate. That's already done. Okay? You got to look at the guy that's coming down to come get you, to assist the guy that's right in front of you. I'm counting on you to beat that guy in front of you. I'm going to give you the football, and you're going to make a move. But then you've got to know where the next guy is. We're playing chess instead of checkers now. Same thing with the big fellas. No more walking up and, you know what, it's a 24 blast, coach, so we're going right through this gap right here, and I go here, and you go here, and we're going to hope to bulldoze everybody out of the way. It doesn't work that way. Nope, not good enough. What's good enough is we're going to teach these guys how to walk up, put in any situation that they face, anything, and they're going to be able to think their way through it and block it. And I'll tell you right now, this is exactly what Coach Pennington is expecting of his offensive football team. And we're going to instill it at the 8th grade. You got to start now, because it's in slow motion right now compared to what those boys see on Friday night. It's in fast forward. Okay, so we start working on this stuff now. It's going to become second nature to these guys by the time that they're playing on Thursday night, on Friday night, and hopefully, God willing, on Saturday morning over at Ford Field someday. Okay, but it's all about teaching this. We're playing chess instead of checkers. We're teaching a game of football at this point instead of telling them what to do, if that makes sense. Teaching them to fish instead of handing them the fish. So, that being said, I'm going to take a quick segue and introduce some of the guys that's going to teach these guys how to fish. All right, you all know, and look, we put this staff together very carefully. There's a reason I'm here again as an independent party trying to bring two teams together. I'm the quasi high school representative football coach. You know, an independent person looking at bringing everybody together. My son played last year. Football is not his thing. Unfortunately for me, we found out he's really good at drumming. So we've got a drum kit. Like, I'm not sure what I did.
We call that percussion, coach.
Percussion, thank you. Yeah, percussion.
Strike.
Sounds so dignified at that point. So I literally have no dog in the hunt here. No runner in the race, whatever the Harmon saying goes. I'm here to try to act as that third party for the first time for these guys. But it's really important for us to get the most out of these guys, to teach them the most, to help them prepare the most for the next level. We got to know how to motivate them the right way. And so it's very important, and I'm very appreciative that the coaches from last year, both teams, are serving as coaches again in various capacities this year. So, that being said, I know everybody's played for different teams and this and that over the years. I'm going to just ask the coaches to introduce themselves and what they're going to be responsible for this year.
You want to introduce your brother first? He's not here?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. So my brother, Kyle Clement, he's not here tonight. He's going to be kind of spotty. We're going to get him when we can. The reason we're doing that is because he played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I hate admitting, especially on film, that he had more success than I did on the football field, but it's true. And he had the unique opportunity for anybody that follows football to play for Coach Dick LeBeau, Hall of Fame coach. famous for his defense. And look, again, it's not the defense per se that they ran. It's they taught those guys how to fish. And so my brother brings a lot of talent, a lot of intellect to the game. In addition to the support that we have unconditionally from Coach Bell and his staff at the varsity level, my brother will be here to help us out with different X's and O's, things like that. So we're happy to have him. And then from there, I'm going to step back and let Coach Paoletti start us off.
Chris Paoletti, I think most of you know me, I've coached in the program since 4th grade, so probably coached most of your sons. I will be coaching on the offense this year, primarily with the wide receivers, working with the offensive team.
Coach Badgett, coach of defense. Kind of back to Coach Clement's point. This whole year is going to be about not just the talent that's out there, but how much work the kids are putting in the books, studying, getting ready, understanding where they are in the field, what positions those are, and what the responsibilities are. So, there's going to be a lot more this year than just come to practice, run the drills, and go home, right? So we're going to really need your support on that too, in terms of getting the kids.
I want to add one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
One of the things, and maybe you might get into this too, but we've talked a lot in some of our meetings, is we're really gonna get into film study this year. We'll be doing film study sessions. It's something particularly with the offense, in both sides, where we're gonna be working with the kids and having film study. We're talking about doing different things on huddle, so we'll have more information about that as we go, but that might be something that's a little bit new that, again, trying to segue over to what they do at the high school level. We're gonna start integrating that into the program too, for sure.
Coach Duchesne, been with the kids since 3rd grade now. I basically drive down here from Rockford. I don't have a kid in the program, so I don't have a dog in the fight. But I do enjoy coaching. Played 4 years in Adrian College. Did my undergrad assistant there, and just wanted to get back into it. So, linebackers and special teams.
Chad McNew, responsible for running backs and defensive assistant. Still trying to figure out what that actually means, but been with the program since going all the way back to upward flag football for a lot of the kids, before there was even cow flag football. Always had a passion for it. One of the things that I find most welcoming about Coach Clements is he's a neutral party. He said it a few different times, but regardless of what I would say or Coach Paoletti, we all have bias based upon what kids we've grown relationships with, right? So I have a unique relationship with Grant, right? Him and I are gonna walk up and hug each other, right? Give each other high fives. But Coach Clements doesn't have that yet. So he's gonna look at it from a very neutral perspective. And I think that we have so much talent within this program that there's kids that are gonna make a push to play college ball. They're gonna play college ball. And I think that when you have a kid that has that skill set, you have to have a neutral party basically starting at 8th grade in order for them to move forward. So I gladly welcome that. I hope that all of you guys receive that welcoming message to them. But it's gonna be lights out football. I'm really, really, really excited for this season, and I hope you guys are as well.
One thing I can add to that too, we've talked about this as well, there's certain things between Chad and myself that we know about the kids, obviously coaching them for many years, that we are able to share, but it's also understood that we're going into this with, he's gonna learn, and he's gonna, so there's certain things that we can add, we've talked about past game film and stuff like that, but it's also a clean slate for the kids coming in too, so that he can formulate his decisions. We're there to help and assist, but also he's gonna go through that process as well.
That was a stipulation, or not stipulation, but Coach Clements and I had several conversations, 2-3 phone calls, where I said, hey, the only way that I, would be happy to help, which I gladly am, was that if there were at the end of the day, that it's his decision. That it's his decision at the end of the day where the kids are playing based upon what their skill set. If he goes to Chris or he comes to me and says, hey, what do you know about the kid? We form that. But to Chris's point, that at the end of the day, that's his decision based upon what he sees as a strength for each one of the kids.
Yeah, no, and look, it all goes back. This is great, very much appreciated. It goes back to supporting the concept. Goal number one, integrating 2 football teams. We have I said it before, we have a ton of talent, a ton of talent in this team. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. Don't get big heads like you can't walk out the door. But we have a ton of talent here, guys. And so utilizing it in different ways, that's our job. We'll figure that out. But integrating the 2 teams and keeping one cohesive unit of an absolute stellar class that we get to send up to high school and represent our community is goal number 1. So everything that these guys are talking about is completely in support of that exact goal. That's why we're discussing it. It's a really important point too, is getting the guys ready to go, bringing 2 teams together, getting them ready to hand off to the high school level. Coach, do we need to can you do selfie mode?
No, I don't want to do selfie mode. We'll lose everybody at that time. So I'm Andy Backus. I don't remember what position I'm supposed to do, but I know it was also supposed to be something quality control. And if you watch my film, I'm not good at that already. So, so I'll be helping out. I think O-line is what I'm supposed to be doing, as well as substitution patterns and making sure we're getting everybody in the field, because he's going to be running so many different types of groupings and stuff. And then also we don't have Chris Seti here, who will also be in defensive line, offensive line help, and then Jeremy Geardes is going to be our IT person.
So yeah, that's the group, guys. We put it together with a lot of thought. I'm grateful to all these guys for giving us one more year. Sorry, please.
Yeah, sorry.
Nope.
So we got one more adder here, right? I don't know. Ryan Sorrell, he was also a coach with these kids since they were young coming up. Ryan is a chiropractor in the area, and he volunteered his services. He said, for insurance purposes, he's got some forms for people to fill out.
Is that for coaches too?
Yeah. He said that he would be more than happy to, 1, sponsor the program, but 2, come out and be the team's chiropractor if something happens on the field. We'll have somebody there with that medical experience there also. It's going to be a big part of what happens here. Sorry.
Yeah, no, thanks. It's important. Guys, this year, program. You're going to hear me say it a million times. Hopefully the boys come home beating it into the ground. Program. Everything that coach has done program-wide, and I mean across the grade levels, I mean from flag to tackle, everything like that, we're treating it as a program. And so here at the 8th grade level, we're trying to get the boys, again, get them ready, right? Trying to give them a taste for what it's like to be at that higher level program. So we've got some medical knowledge on the sideline all of a sudden. We can get them at least appropriately assessed when they get dinged up. We're going to have a significant amount of coaches on the sideline. Some of the guys joke, and it's funny, what the hell what is see the football coach creeping on me right there. What in the heck does defensive quality control mean, right? What does that even mean? Well, actually, all these guys are kind enough to give me their services on offense and defense. So we're gonna have certain things that are really important for the guys to be doing, whether it's offense, defense, they're little things that you guys don't have to preoccupy yourself with. You just enjoy the game, cheer for your kid. I might ask Coach McNew to watch one little thing. Hey, I need to watch this guy's first 3 steps every single play on defense. Like, that's mind-numbingly awful. I'm gonna have to buy him a pitcher of beer after the game, right? And that doesn't even begin to. I don't know, but I don't know what's the most expensive bottle Jody stocks up in here, but I'm gonna owe him that after the game. But That's the kind of stuff. Look, again, we're playing chess instead of checkers. This stuff matters. So that's what we have the guys doing. Everybody's committed on this coaching staff to a higher level of involvement, of attention, of just commitment to what we're trying to do. That speaks to the next thing I want to share with you guys. You're going to be getting a calendar of events. It's going to look like, holy cow, how am I ever supposed to take a vacation? How's my kid going to finish his current season? What in the heck are you trying to do, coach? Have no fear. At least for the summer months here, we're going to be sending out a calendar to you folks. It's going to look like we're asking your kid to sign on the dotted line in blood to commit themselves to football and only football. That's not the case. I'm here to dispel that rumor right now. We have a lot of activities planned. If your player is available, it'd be great for them to be there. If your player can get there, extra time is appreciated. We're trying to teach the kids to play chess instead of checkers. It's not going to happen overnight. The more stuff that your player can make it to, the easier it's going to be for your player. By the same token, I understand it's baseball season. I don't know, it's soccer season. Lacrosse season. It's running season. I don't know what else is going on. Baseball, I forgot. Holy cow! Baseball season. And look, we're gonna Fortnite. No, don't start with Fortnite. That season's over, man.
There's a tournament, man.
Hey, bring your Xboxes or whatever to camp, and we'll see how many make it back out of there. We watch a film.
Did you boys hear, Coach? Fortnite season's over.
Fortnite season's done for, boys.
I haven't played in a while. Yes, sir.
No, but look, I want to be very, very clear. Okay, we're gonna send this out to you guys. I would love for your player to be there as much as possible. It would be great if we're not gonna waste anybody's time. We're not there just to lollygag and have team time and that. No, we're there with a very specific purpose. The skill guys that were with us on Sunday, I hope you guys felt like you got something out of it. We worked literally the same doggone play, just different variations of it for an hour and a half. But that's valuable reps that the guys are getting. By the same token though, I'm not naming starters every Sunday. Okay, we're gonna have Sunday workouts. You're gonna see that for the 7-on-7 guys. For the linemen, we're gonna try to do Thursdays. Okay? If your player can't be there because he's got baseball or jiu-jitsu or whatever, okay, that's fine, man. That's okay. We're not trying to ring anybody up here. Okay? We want to put the calendar out there. We want to make things available for the guys to participate in. Now, it's very important to understand as we work our way through the calendar, we get to Iron Scots. Coach talked about camp. There's some things in there, and I'll just, use your head. You guys are gonna know by the 8th grade what's important and what's not. If you have questions, we're gonna have ways to contact me or the other coaches. But you're gonna run across Iron Scots. This is an opportunity to participate with the varsity athletes, the freshmen, the JV, and the varsity as one group with max effort performance. So, in other words, I don't know a better setting to go and work out preseason. So, if you get that opportunity and it works for you, please take it. There's camp coming up. It's a 7th and 8th grade camp, right, Coach? I believe. Look, that's when Coach Pennington and some other guys are going to be down to help install some of the offense. And as Coach said, it's not the same thing that, what is it, McKenzie, right, our quarterback? Yeah, Sam Mason. The dude's on a different level, okay? But he's 11th grade next year, right?
12th grade next week.
12th grade next year. Yeah, thank you. Good preaching program. I don't know my dudes. But look, he's a 17, 18-year-old kid. He's played football a while. He's got more going on in between every snap than these guys have, but we're trying to build that for them. Okay, and so what Coach Pennington's doing literally is right sizing, if you will, the offense for these guys to be able to begin building the foundation. And Coach Bell on defense can be doing the same thing. It is the basic elements of what they're doing at the high school level. And so camp, super important. Please try to get there if you can get there for that one, 7th and 8th grade camp. Fast forward through the season, we've talked about try to get there if you can. We respect and appreciate different sports. We respect and appreciate family events. If you're trying to take a vacation, I'm not gonna yell at anybody. By the time we get to practice though, I'm gonna ask if at all possible, especially during dead week. We do have practice during dead week. Okay, I'm telling you right now, I'm not gonna penalize anybody since this is the first year.
Does everybody here know what Dead Week is?
No.
Okay, so Dead Week is a week for the high school players where there's nothing. It's a dead week, right? I don't think that the coaches can
Can't talk about
can't talk to the kids that week, right? So it's
So-
just a thing.
the last
That
week
doesn't happen
before-
for youth football.
Right, it's the last week before practice starts.
Yeah.
And if you're in the what education field, basically, it's a thing, right?
Yep.
So like,
First week of August, isn't it?
sorry.
It's first week of August.
Yeah, it's like that first week of August or the last, it's
Yeah.
like right before practice starts.